Hey, it's Guardian Riuka, back with another video. Sadly, my uploading and streaming schedule hit a bit of a wall due to school and some other life stuff, but we're back, at least for a little bit. Something I've been pouring my time into lately is Pokemon Conquest. You know, that really good Pokemon spin-off game that came out all the way back in 2012. As I've been playing and exploring the game's Reddit page, there's definitely a lot I missed when I completed the game the first time around. For example, I had no idea at all that Pokemon had different IVs or individual values in this game. I always thought that every Pokemon in Pokemon Conquest was completely identical. In today's video, I want to do a little review of one of my favorite Pokemon games. So, we're going to go over the good, the bad, and my overall thoughts on Pokemon Conquest. First, we need to discuss what Pokemon Conquest even is, just in case you've never heard about this amazing Pokemon spin-off. Pokemon Conquest is a game based on the series Nobunaga's Ambition, where you play as a warlord who collects and uses Pokemon in battle against other kingdoms in order to take those kingdoms over and claim them as your own. Basically, it's a mix between Japanese history and a strategy game, with Pokemon sprinkled on top. When you start the game, you and your partner Eevee team up with a girl named Oichi and her Jigglypuff in order to take over and unite all of the kingdoms of Ransai, before Nobunaga can do so, in order to stop him from summoning the legendary Pokemon and claiming the entire Ransai region as his own. The main story involves you and Oichi fighting and claiming one kingdom at a time. Each kingdom is based on a different Pokemon type. For example, Greenleaf houses mostly grass-type Pokemon, and Ignis houses mostly fire-type Pokemon. Once you have claimed a kingdom, you can recruit warriors and Pokemon into your army. Pokemon that you find are based on the kingdom, most of which match the type of the kingdom. For example, you'll find fire-type Pokemon like Charmander and Tepig in Ignis. But some Pokemon you find won't match the type of the kingdom, such as Zubat and Bidoof being both found in Ignis. The warriors you can recruit can use any type of Pokemon, not just the Pokemon that match the type of the kingdom they are found in. This means you can find warriors with the grass-type Petilil in the harsh, never-ending blizzard that is the kingdom of Nixtorm. Warriors can be recruited by defeating their Pokemon before that Pokemon can deal damage to anyone on your team, dealing super effective damage on the warrior's Pokemon, or defeating the warrior's Pokemon within 3 turns. If the warrior is a warlord, a character with a unique portrait, they must first be defeated by another warlord. Each warrior can recruit Pokemon by linking up with them through a fun rhythm minigame. Each warrior has a single Pokemon line that they can gain a perfect link with. Links are the experience in this game, so having a higher possible link means that Pokemon will be able to become more powerful than Pokemon with lower possible links. Don't worry too much about it though, most links above 70% are good enough since you seldomly reach 70% in a single story unless you're purposely delaying the story. Oh, right, the main story. After beating the main story, Oichi will show you her true colors. That of a piece of garbage who deletes your save data without your permission so you can play a bunch of mini side stories. Screw you, Oichi! Anyways, the side stories will have you play as another warlord, and you're given an objective to reach, such as conquering all of Ransai, recruiting a certain number of warriors and Pokemon, or defeating specific warlords in a section of Ransai. There are tons of stories to do, and since you can recruit different warriors and use different Pokemon each time, even if you do the same story multiple times, it always feels different. Either way, here are some handy tips and tricks I've learned while playing. If a warrior's perfect link is really bad, you may want to try not evolving it. Luxio with the run-up ability functions a lot better than Luxray. While fighting on a map that has banners, you don't have to stay on the banner in order to keep the banner claimed. Just know that if you leave a banner open, an enemy Pokemon may try and claim it for themselves. Also, even if you defeat all of the enemy Pokemon, you still have to capture all of the banners. If you attack the bell in the corner of Pugilis, it will raise the attack of all your allies, so go crazy on the bell. But do know that if it's hit too much, it will break. Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon all evolve from Eevee through evolutionary stones, so getting them on characters that have a bad link with Eevee but a good link with its evolutions are easy. Just know that other warriors that have a bad link with Eevee won't always be able to obtain Espeon, Umbreon, Leafeon, and Glaceon. For example, Budinari has a good link with Leafeon, but his link with Eevee is too low for him to ever evolve it, meaning he can never even have a Leafeon. Make sure your warriors gain a variety of different Pokemon if they can. This doesn't necessarily mean Pokemon with a lot of different types. Pokemon that are the same type can still use different moves. Don't feel bad if you have both Empoleon and Gyarados. They're both water types with water type moves, but their moves are different enough to make them unique. That being said, use some online sources, links below, in order to check out if there are any weird Pokemon your warriors can get a good link with. For example, Motochika can get a good 90% link with Chimecho, despite the Pokemon not sharing his favorite type, which is water. The abilities Confidence and Decoy don't do anything. Decoy is designed to never trigger, and Confidence goes away before the boost can even be used. If you have a Pokemon with one of these abilities, change it at the Mystery Springs in Ignis or Ballora. In the Link minigame, you can hit the same orb multiple times. Also, you are not penalized for hitting the space between two close orbs. So, when a long line of orbs goes by, just mash the button as fast as you can. The item Metal Coat will boost the attack of any Steel-type Pokemon holding it, not just Pokemon with Steel-type moves, so get a ton of these. If you're playing through the main story for the first time, and you don't enjoy using Oichi's Jigglypuff, there are a ton of other options. Darlie, Petilil, and Piplup are all great Pokemon you can use and get early. If you do use Jigglypuff, however, you will eventually get the Jigglypuff Charm, which, if this item is held by Oichi, it will make all of her Pokemon immune to all status conditions. Evolve Eevee as soon as you can with the Evolution Stones. All of the other evolution options take way too long to get, and you most likely won't get them until the end of the game. But if you really want to wait for Glaceon, I'm not gonna stop you. Go ham. Digging for gold while one of your warriors has Meowth as their active party member will increase the amount of gold obtained, especially if it has the Bonanza ability. Get rich quick, guys. You have stones, uncomfortable coats, and weird charms to buy. Speaking of weird charms, the Guardian Charm is busted. It increases all of the holder's stats if they are the only one left in your army in combat, and it does work if you only send one warrior into combat. Use this in the early game to take over a multitude of territory quickly. Remember Pokemon immunities. If the entire enemy army can only use electric type moves, just send in a ground type Pokemon with a Guardian Charm for an easy win. Enemy kingdoms won't invade other kingdoms until July of the first year, so don't worry about leaving kingdoms completely empty until that date. If you're lacking a bit of range, you can use certain moves like Aqua Tail to launch your Pokemon a square ahead. Just know that you can damage allies with your moves. You can also use moves that hit multiple targets, such as Discharge, to deal damage while powering up Pokemon with the Motor Drive ability. This works with Leaf Storm and Sap Sipper too, guys. Pay attention to where you're placed. When you're standing on a favored terrain, or when targeting the enemy's back, you'll end up doing more damage, so place your unit strategically for that great backstab. When it comes to this game, I can't say there are too many things I dislike. Most of my problems with Pokemon Conquest are things that can be easily fixed in a sequel or remaster. For starters, let's talk about some of the maps. I feel like a lot of the maps have too much empty space. For example, Spectra and Ballora have these empty corners, while Avia has a whole platform that I seldomly see used. The maps without objectives just end up being you and the enemy army running to the center to fight as quickly as possible without utilizing a majority of the map. It would also be nice to choose where my Pokemon are placed instead of the system being entirely automatic. There's also the map gimmicks, most of which are annoying instead of being actually interesting. The Kingdom of Illusio has randomized teleportation portals, which make navigating the map super annoying. Terrera has sandstorms that prevent you from reaching the banners, which makes the map a pain if one occurs at just the wrong time. Ballora is the worst by far, having gates you need to open by standing on gears. And if anyone ends their turn on the gear, it will move, meaning you have to sit through the dumb gear animation over and over again in order to open the gates. The Steel-type kingdom also has cameras that will grab you and drop you off at a random place on the map if they see you. Nick Storm is almost as bad, being a giant field of ice. Do you like Pokemon's ice puzzles? Well, now you have to fight on one! Everyone who isn't an Ice-type Pokemon slides around, and the slippery ice makes it difficult to aim more complex attacks. Overall, these maps are a pain to navigate, and their gimmicks are not enjoyable in the slightest, especially since I can't pick where my Pokemon spawn. Another thing that a majority of players have a problem with is the fact that each Pokemon only gets a single move. This means Pokemon with really bad moves, no matter how good their stats, become less useful than Pokemon with better moves. The best example of this is Luxray, who is forced to use Thunder, which is a move that can only be used when there are 2 squares between the user and the target. If you were paying attention to the last segment, you would know that there are a lot of maps that limit your mobility, making Thunder extremely difficult to set up. On top of this, the move only has a base accuracy of 70%, and with Luxray's low speed, it happens to miss a majority of the time, making Luxio, with Run-Up and Discharge, a much better Pokemon. It's even worse on Ampharos, who has lower speed and mobility than Luxray. There are worse situations than Luxray, however. Fortress is known to be the worst Pokemon in the game, since its move is Gyro Ball, which deals more damage the lower the user's speed is compared to the target. Since you'll be a higher level most of the time, even though Fortress's speed is terrible, this move will tend to only deal 1 damage. Yeah, 1 damage. In fact, Fortress will deal more damage with its Jagged Edge ability over actually attacking. Musharna also suffers since its move is Dream Eater, which can only be used on a target who is asleep. The only way to cause an enemy to fall asleep is with Muna's move Hypnosis, or with one of Musharna's abilities which trigger randomly. Sure, you can run both Muna and Musharna, but it's hard to justify using 2 Pokemon when you could just use Alakazam or Gardevoir, both of which hit multiple targets and deal more damage. Another painfully bad Psychic type is Gothitelle, who uses the move Future Sight. This move strikes in a huge area, but only 2 turns after using the move. Gothitelle also can't target enemies again until they take damage from its move, meaning you can't stack Future Sight. Gracia, the warlord whose perfect link is with Gothitelle, has a skill called Bewilder, which confuses enemies that you damage with the move. The problem is the skill can't be used with Gothitelle, since Future Sight doesn't trigger the skill since the move has to be used on the same turn. Some of the best planning went into this game. Finally, there's Umbreon. Pokemon's move is extremely weak, and it has a terrible attack stat. Sadly, Umbreon can't stall or become an unstoppable wall like it can in the core series since it lacks the ability to recover or inflict status conditions. Not to mention, every evolution of Eevee is better when it comes to either attacking or defending. Outside of moves, there are also some limitations that certain fully evolved Pokemon get upon evolving. Roggenrola, Stilio, Dusclops, Dragonair, Pupitar, Charmeleon, Lairon, Shieldon, Amaranth, and other Pokemon all lose range upon evolution, even when some of them gain speed. It really doesn't make any sense to me why so many Pokemon lose range upon evolving. It's like honestly baffling. A funny thing about Dusclops is its ability Black Hole stops enemies from moving when they become adjacent to you, and it keeps this ability when it evolves into Dusknoir. The problem is, Dusknoir can't even hit enemies if they are adjacent, so the ability is bad. Not a lot of future-proofing went into this game. This game still has a lot of heart and soul poured into it though. I love the art style. All of the Pokemon have unique sprites that really show their personality. The Warlords also have a ton of gestures and poses. Everyone and everything in this game feels so wonderful and alive. The visuals are just that good. Also, who can deny that they enjoy seeing all the Pokemon dance while they wait in combat? The maps, even the ones I don't like, still look amazing. The music is also a 10 out of 10, and each kingdom gets their own theme that fits each map so well. I discussed this earlier, but the multitude of different combinations of warriors and Pokemon and used in each story really amps up the replayability, which prevents the game from getting boring, even if you're like me and you've played it for hundreds of hours. There are just so many different ways you can tackle each scenario. Not to mention, I enjoy how the game lets you change your Pokemon's ability at the Mystery Springs, as it lets you change your strategy between conquering different kingdoms. If only you could do this with moves. All in all, Pokemon Conquest is a great game, even though it has some flaws. For some, the gameplay may seem repetitive, but I never got tired of it, due to all the different combinations you can have. If you have a DS of some sort, I would really recommend playing it, especially if you enjoy Pokemon or any other strategy game. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. I've started posting again after a long break, and I'm streaming on Twitch, so go check that out. I'm also going to be doing some Twitch clips on TikTok, so make sure to go follow me there. Also, be sure to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe.